Today I have so many different recipes to share with you. I hope that you stick around until the end. We are kicking it off with some air fried zucchini. It was super easy to make. To just mix it up in some flour, some eggs, and some breadcrumbs, and you throw it in your air fryer for just about 8 minutes or so. I didn't use a double layer, so I had to go in a few times. They turned out absolutely delicious. Now we're switching up to some chicken wings, and I did sort of a honey glaze. So the honey took quite some time to come out, and I just mixed some herbs that I had on hand. So cumin, oregano, honey, basically anything that you have, some sea salt and some pepper. And I marinated my chicken wings from Purdue for a little bit, about maybe 20 minutes or so in the refrigerator. I put some saran wrap on top and I just let them sit, and then I put them in the oven on high heat around 400 degrees again for about 20 minutes, and look at how beautiful they came out. I broiled them for 5 minutes at the very end, and it was well worth it. Next up, this is a huge, just regular dinner, but a very complicated dinner for me. I had many pots going on the oven, but basically it was a pasta, chicken, asparagus dish, and I wanted to get some garlics and onion on the stove to kick it off. And so I did 2 onions and a handful of garlic to kick things off. And then in the back of the oven, I had some water boiling, and of course, and the stove was going for the asparagus. It was heating up for the asparagus. And in the meantime, I chopped up my chicken in some thin slices because I wanted it to cook pretty quickly, and I made a ton of chicken because I wanted to have leftovers for the next day. So I pretty much, and if you can notice, it's sort of semi-frozen. This chicken wasn't all the way cooked through, so I gave it some extra time on the pan to make sure that I was cooking it all the way through. But I do that sometimes, and if I don't have enough time to defrost, I just go ahead and just make sure I cook it that much longer. So in goes my pasta, which was spaghetti for this particular night, and I went ahead and tried to put everything in one bowl just for presentation, but I like doing it that way because then you don't have to have a million pot holders on your dinner table. So I was serving, and I was trying to put all the chicken on one side. As you can see, I'm not kidding, I made a lot of chicken, but we did eat that again the very next night. And then I had I also made bacon bits. I didn't toss it in with my pasta. I normally would have, but my daughter is a vegetarian and she wouldn't have eaten the pasta if I did that. But I made bacon bits, and I kept that on a plate on the side for my husband. Rayo's is my favorite sauce. I used to make sauce on Sundays. It used to take me 2.5 hours. Trust this New York Italian when she tells you that Rayo's is so good. Very save a lot of time. So those are the bacon bits. They came out delicious. They're a little fatty, but that's okay. Water boiling, sauce going, asparagus going, everything is going. I got my pasta facial, which always is a little surprising when it happens. And now it's time to assemble. So when I serve pasta with my kids, I normally put the sauce right on the pasta because otherwise they always want butter pasta, and I don't allow that. I want them to at least have some marinara sauce. And so I toss it so there's no questions asked. No, you cannot have butter pasta. You have to have some tomato sauce. And chicken, pasta, bacon bits on the side. And now I just want to show you a close-up of the bacon bits before we get to the asparagus. I got asparagus from Lidl, and they were the largest asparagus I've gotten all year. It was such a great buy. I can't wait to show you those. But in the meantime, check out these pieces. You don't even have to put any seasoning on them. They already had maple already built in. It's such a great addition to any meal, and super easy to make. So lots of dirty dishes, but like I said, it's just a really great meal to have a little bit of everything for your family. Look at those asparagus. Those were monsters. Monsters, and we love them. The kids enjoyed everything, and we had leftovers for the very next day, the same exact meal. I just ended up making green beans instead of asparagus because that they all went, which was a bonus. So now we're making smashed potatoes. So you boil up your potatoes and then you actually roast them. So after you boil your potatoes and cook them, you can do this with white potatoes or red potatoes. That's completely up to you. Just line your little pan and try to keep them somewhat separated. This was harder than I thought because I was filming with one hand and smashing with the other. I didn't have a tripod or anybody there to help me, so forgive me if my filming or my ability to smash was not really working, but it was just me by myself in the kitchen doing this. But basically, after you cook them and line them up, you take your smasher, I don't know what the correct terminology is here, and you just press down. Now, I was having a hard time releasing, so I took an extra fork, and that helped me sort of get everything off my little smasher. And once you have all your potatoes looking like this, you then want to mix some olive oil and some butter and some garlic, some whatever type of powder you want to add, some seasoning. It's completely up to you. Mix that together, and then you want to marinate the tops. So after everything is smashed, you just go over it one time with your little new mixture of butter, olive oil, garlic, onion, throw it in the oven for another 15-20 minutes, and you don't know how good these are. They are delicious. Okay, so my mom came over and she showed me how to make lamb. I've never made lamb before. Basically, you line up your pieces into your roasting pan and just start sprinkling garlic, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, carrots, potatoes. She uses a little bit of lemon zest as well, just to give it a little extra bite. This is red vinegar, if you want to do that as well. I had a couple of remaining carrots, like I said. She just used whatever I had on hand and threw that right into the pot. Very, very, very minimal. She didn't put that much in the pan. She didn't stuff or overdo anything. She just took a couple of potatoes, a couple of carrots. It wasn't overdone. She just put enough. And then we baked it. We baked it for, I think it was 35 minutes or so. I'm just going to have to check on that. This was done a few weeks ago, to be really honest with you. But she salt and peppered on top right before we placed it in the oven. And I can't tell you how simple this dish was. I thought making lamb would be a little bit harder. Oh, and right before she put it in, that's right, she put about 2 cups of water and swooshed everything around just to make sure that all the juices and the oil and the vinegar was getting everywhere and not just isolating in one particular area. Voila! Very simple dish to make. It was absolutely delicious. It was really great. She sliced those lemons on top, as you can see. Very, very simple dish to make. You should give it a shot. Protein pancakes. This is the new way that I'm making pancakes, guys. All you have to do is 1 scoop of protein into your already existing pancake batter. So whatever you normally do, just add a scoop of protein, and just to sort of shield that flavor of what I normally put, I usually just add just a tiny bit more of vanilla. So I just put a dash of vanilla, and lately I've been putting some extra fruit in there as well. So I'll chop up some strawberries or bananas or blueberries, and then you cook accordingly. So I use a griddle. You can use whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. And you get some extra protein in your breakfast. This is a really easy way to do it. And my kids don't really taste the difference. And I love it. We've done it 100 times this way. And there's no turning back. Pita pizzas. This was another great meal that we've made. And it's become a fan favorite. My boys love it because they can take care of their own dishes, and my daughter's not really a huge mozzarella fan, so we make her pizzas without cheese. The boys love cheese, so when they make their own dishes, they put extras on theirs. You can really customize it. Some people want pepperoni, some people don't. Some people like Kalamata olives, some people don't. So you can really just do whatever it is that you want to do when you're making these pita pizzas. If you have a pizza pan, we found that you can put 3 on each pizza pan. So, that's the best that we can do. And then in a regular pan, as you can see, you can fit about 4. And once you finish putting your drizzle, we usually put a little bit of olive oil on top. And it's just a great lunch or even a great dinner if you want to serve it with salad. Again, your kids can do this, and then they can always claim the ones that they've made. Really, really great option. And I'm going to leave you with one of my oatmeal recipes that I'll link below. It's a pressure cooker oatmeal. Oh, wow. That was way high.
Hey now.
All right.
Look at that.
This is down. Okay, there we go. I'm going to set this to saute. Medium. And I'm going to throw in my butter, cinnamon, and a little bit of quality.
Hello, Mr. Fake. Nice to meet you.
Quality maple syrup. And then I'm basically going to just toss this until the butter is melted. You really only need a few minutes to let this cook. As you can see, it's pretty much, it's already done, but since I put the butter in, I want to make sure everything is melted and combined. Now, this recipe is available on my blog. I'll link it below. And the premise of the recipe is pretty much the same. So if you don't like maple syrup and brown sugar, you can substitute it with apples or just pretty much anything that you have on hand. Just substitute out the flavors for what you like. And that's it. This is done.